welcome back. So today we're going to talk about horizontal jigging, or shore jigging, also known as surface jigging as well. Sorry about the backdrop. Made it back to the car, realised my lens was all smudged, and yeah, the footage didn't come out too great, so take 2 on the intro. Anyway, so surface jigging. You probably tried normal jigging on the boat, where you're jigging vertically, you're drifting over a patch, you jig, and you're covering that vertical column of water, which is great, really effective, nothing wrong with it whatsoever. However, you can also use that when you're in the shallow water as well. This particular style of jigging I've used in, even 2 meters of water. Preferably, sort of 4 or 5 meters upwards, up to 30 meters is better. But yeah, you can even do it in the real shallow stuff. And basically, you're just covering the whole water column all the way back to your rod. It's a really effective way of searching water, finding fish, and I also find, compared to say stick baiting, for example, where you do get a lot of follows, you do get bumps and swipes and boil ups, but they don't always convert into solid hookups. I've found using this particular style of fishing, generally you get hit, you hook up. Particularly if you set the hook, because you've got to remember to set the hook on the jig, as opposed to using trebles on a stick bait. But that's another story. But yeah, the hookup rate's insane, and since I've started using this particular method for kings, my catch rates have just skyrocketed. It might not be quite as it's not quite as visual as stick baiting, but yeah, I want the eat, I want the fish. So basically, all you're doing is you're pitching it out as far as you can throw it. Depending on the depth you're in, if it's sort of shallow water, 5 meters or so, let it sink 10 seconds, then just start to jig, and just keep going until it gets close to the surface. Let it sink on a tight line, let it flutter from side to side, get down a couple of meters, and then start jigging again. And basically what you're doing is you're working that whole water column from the bottom to the top, back to the bow. You can do it in 30 meters. I've been using it in workups. I'll throw it into a workup, I'll let it sink on a tight line, the carway will pick it up. You'll know it's a carway because I can't just grab and pull sort of not softly, they don't hit hard, they just kind of pull. Just let them pull, don't strike, and then they'll drop it, and the next one will pick it up and he'll drop it, and then just keep going until you get to the bottom. Once you get to the bottom, then you can start doing your retrieve. Do 12-15 sort of pumps, let it sink, 12-15 pumps, free spool the line, 12-15 pumps, let it free spool, and then eventually you get back to the boat, and then you can do like a vertical jig burn. But you've basically worked all that water back to the boat, in an angle, like this, as opposed to just straight up and down below the boat. The advantage of this is you can pitch it well up ahead of the boat before you're actually over them, creating disturbance and noise and so on. Yeah, really effective method. I've used it today, got a couple of kings land-based, just pitching out, searching water blind. There's nothing visual, there's no bust-ups or anything like that, it was just blind searching. But hey, I found the fish. They weren't huge, but hey, it's a really effective method. So watch the video, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, stick around. Sweet. Cheers.
Got one. Might be a carway though, we'll see. It's not real big. Not what it is yet. Just a red. On the jig.
Now in terms of gear and setup, this particular one I'm using here, it's an Australian brand, Ziekle. It's PE2-4, 8 foot long. It's slightly parabolic, so it's not too stiff. So when you're working the jigs, it's quite easy. There's enough flex in the tip to be able to work them. cast's great. I could probably get an extra 10 metres on an equivalent stick bait with this outfit. Reel wise, don't have to go quite so big. This one's a 7,000 Daiwa Isla bull, 30 kilos of drag. It's a solid reel, but you don't need that much for most of the kings you're targeting. But this one here will land a 30-35 kilo king easy, and has landed many. So, but even if you get a rat on, it's still good fun. Now in terms of jigs, this one's just the lucky one from today. It's a bit bashed up, but that's 150 gram. Look for a profile that's relatively flat, something that's going to flutter. You don't want anything too thin, otherwise there's no action. You don't want anything that's sort of round or a slow pitch jig, because then it's way too wide. You just want something with a tight sort of movement like this as it sinks through. Anything of that sort of profile is fine. I use it anywhere up to 200 gram, but for the shallower stuff, 150 is great. If there's heaps of car wire around, go to the 200, because then you'll get less hits on car wire because it'll a little bit too big. But yep, that's the basic setup. 80 pound braid, 80 pound leader. Pretty straightforward. So it's going to catch any king. Well, any king that I've come across anyway. So yeah, sweet.